Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, this preview's gotten my attention more so than probably normally would. It's another Marilyn Monroe documentary, and we just had a big story a little while ago about some DNA, people finding Marilyn's father and confirming that who her father was. So that was interesting. I wasn't expecting anything new on Marilyn, but there is a documentary called The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe, The Unheard Tapes, which is from Netflix as well, and I just watched a very interesting documentary about John Wayne Gacy, which I found different than any of the other ones I'd watched, that I found was very effective, and I want to talk about that. And I thought this made me feel a bit more optimistic about this documentary. The trailer, there's only a trailer so far, it hasn't been released yet, but there's a trailer. It's about, how long? About 2 minutes, 10 seconds. It is very dramatic, very theatrical. They have a woman singing I Want to Be Loved by You, but it's not Marilyn. But it's more haunting, but it's not Marilyn, so that seems a bit odd. Whenever they use someone else's voice instead of Marilyn's to read out her dialogue or her comments or have her song sung by someone else, I always find that very off-putting, because we really want to hear her voice in like every way. But this one sort of claims to have some more information and to have found some things that we haven't seen before, tapes that hadn't been heard before and so forth. Now, we all know that, some of us know that the case was reopened in 1982, 20 years after, but they didn't really interview any of the people who brought up all the evidence that sort of inspired them to open the case in the first place. So it didn't really achieve a whole lot. So I'm not quite sure. It's all about uncovering the truth about Marilyn, and they go through the whole conspiracies, JFK, RFK, Hoover, wiretaps, drugs, all these sort of things. And we have learnt a lot, and it is fairly juicy. You do keep learning things every few years. You find out something new about Marilyn, because so much was covered up back in the day, and it's all slowly being uncovered, or things that had been revealed back in the day that didn't get really any exposure are being found again. So it's interesting. I'm like I said, it's a very dramatic trailer. It gave me goosebumps and everything. It's very dramatic. I can see a lot of people tuning in, but are they going to see anything new? It's promising that, but I know there were a bunch of tapes shipped for Dr. Greenson. Supposedly some of those were leaked. There are other tapes that were done. I know there were wiretaps. So we all know there are recordings of her, whether they're just mundane stuff, whether they actually got anything. It's interesting, but I'm skeptical that they're actually going to give us anything new, but I think they will at least present it in a way that it is interesting, like they did with the John Wayne Gacy stuff. That was very interesting, very different. I had a very different emotional reaction to that story and perception of him in that story after watching that documentary. Will that happen with Marilyn? I don't know. I've seen a lot of Marilyn Monroe documentaries. There are a lot of them. Some of them were done back in the day when they had a lot of the original interviews and they did a very good job. Other ones are newer where they did a lot of investigative work. Some are very much just talking about her career and her legacy and her legend and the mythology and all that. But I don't know. I'll watch this one eventually and we'll see, but I don't know, I just, the trailer was very dramatic. It got me going, I sort of thought, Netflix did a really good job with the John Wayne Gacy one. Maybe they've put the same budget and the same effort into this, and maybe it's not just going to be another Marilyn Monroe documentary with the same interviews and the same facts. But the thing that undoes the whole trailer, because it's more of a review of the trailer and just speculating about the documentary, after all the sort of noise, the last sort of quote is Marilyn saying, "Fame is fickle." And I'm like, okay, that's not really, that doesn't really reflect your death, the circumstances around your death, or any of the controversies. And it's not something new that we haven't heard before. We've all heard that line of her saying, I can tell you right now, fame is fickle. We've all heard that. That's from, the tapes that she did for the interview, I think for Time, just before, a couple of weeks before she died. And we've all heard that, the last interview documentary. So I got all excited, and then I thought, are they just representing what we've already seen? But if they do it really well, maybe we will learn something. But maybe they've got something new. I don't know. We'll see. It's out in 2 days, April 27. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Yeah, I'm kind of excited, but I don't want to get too optimistic because I know a lot about Marilyn, and like a lot of us do if you're a fan, so there's not a lot that you can learn from some of these stuff. But at the same time, it's frustrating because we all know there's stuff that still hasn't seen the light of day, and we're just waiting for it to come up, hoping it happens in our lifetime. I'm going to go. Thanks. Bye.